Hey everybody, this is the Crappy Gamer. Wow, that was so weird having a little bit of a delay, but that's okay. We'll deal with that. That's actually freaking me out a bit. I don't know if I can do that, so I'm gonna trust that y'all can hear me. I'm gonna keep an eye on that stuff. But here we go. We're gonna talk about 3 gloves that I bought a couple weeks ago from Boombah, and I had every intention of showing the initial footage of unboxing everything. Excuse me, but the quality was so bad, like the lighting and everything over there was so bad that I'll just spare you, and I'll try to just reenact how the gloves felt when I got them. Now, these are the 3 basically the series, the lines, the quality lines that Boombah has. So it'll be their low end model, middle range model, and then their top end model. They were all on, well, I don't think the top end model was technically on sale, but I also don't think that was the correct price, because their top end model was $69.99. Nice. But the mid-range model was technically $140 some odd glove originally. And then the low-end model was an $80 something glove. So I'm not quite sure the pricing on everything, but there is a big difference in terms of the quality when you actually get to, interact with them. But that was the plan originally. Is this was going to be a low, a mid, and then a top glove. I wanted to see the differences in the quality. I wanted to immediately out of the box. Well, not immediately. Obviously, I got them the night before, but I used them the following day, caught with them and everything. Out of the box, didn't do the stuff that I normally do, which I'll explain. And go from there. But like I said, some of the recording was not all that fantastic. But, as always, beer of the evening. It's Hurricane. I shouldn't really be drinking considering I have a practice tomorrow. But, fuck it. And beer snack of the evening is... Wow, I opened this upside down. These are Tengu Yokozuna Arare Kuro Kosho. So these are a type of pepper, Japanese pepper. And they're quite lovely. But I definitely opened them upside down. So. Earlier too. Okay, so without further ado. Oh, and the other thing is, I bought 2 new bats. So anyone that even cares or has followed this story, my softball story, which by the way, I also picked this up right around as this was all finishing too. So I stopped playing softball at the end of last year. So this is 12/13/2023. This time last year, I was done. I had no interest in softball anymore. I wanted nothing to do with it. With no interest in coming back. I work for my particular city, and one of the shifts that we have is to just open up a specific turf field for seniors to play softball. Well, all these softball players are incredibly talented despite their age and have been playing a lot longer than I've even been alive, which is pretty goddamn amazing. And they were nice enough. I offered to just run around and shag fly balls, and they were nice enough to say, hey, grab a bat. Of course, I started hitting, and I'm not preaching about my skill set. Believe me, I was terrible at that point. But I was hitting balls over the fence, and it's a short field. So I'm going to show some footage later on when I use the bats. But the field we play on is we moved the base, the home plate back. So center field is technically 270, and then the corners are I think like 240. So it's a very small field regardless. But the balls, although I'm bringing some tomorrow that are a little bit nicer, the balls that we're using apparently have been used for about like 3 or 4 years, and they are worn down. They're starting to get really worn down, which is good because it's a park, so there's people walking around, so it's not that big of a deal. But they kind of got me back into things, and so over the last year, that desire to play again came back, and that's why we're here today. And so I am now planning on playing again in the spring, returning to my former team. So I have motivation now to, like, you know, work on a bunch of stuff. I really want to work on my arm, because that was the biggest thing I had an issue with when I was playing. Is I was a pretty good defender, so I always said $1 million glove, 10-cent arm. Legs were good. They're not so great nowadays, but you know, we always push through. Average was always good. I was always good for being able to just get on base, but a lot of that was speed. And then when I learned how to learn how to pull and then hit over the fence, that added another layer to it. But I haven't hit. I think I hit 1 home run in the last 2, maybe even 3 years of my career, after hitting a whole bunch during a specific period. I was also pretty damn sober, for one, in much better shape for another, but I was also really into the game at the time, and so I'm hoping that that all translates to. Obviously, this didn't help right now, but a good season in the spring. But the key thing for me is when I used to play soccer and I apologize, I'm doing this real quick, but I used to play soccer and hockey growing up, and when I quit both, I quit them for good. I'm involved in soccer to an extent that with work, I go to a soccer field and unlock the fields, but rather than sitting there, occasionally I just go and, kick the ball around with some of the kids out there. And yesterday, I got my ass handed to me by a bunch of amazing 8-year-olds, fantastic 8-year-olds. So the juice is not there anymore with that. Hockey, more so. I have no connection to hockey anymore. But coming back to softball is kind of fascinating, because I could have totally seen myself just giving up on softball and just not caring anymore. So to come back to it the way I've come back to it, there's an appreciation for the fact that you can lose that passion and that desire, and to gain it back, there's a sense of appreciation for the fact that that passion has come back. And so I'm coming into the game this coming spring season with a mindset that I still want to. I've always been really competitive with myself. I've always wanted to do better, with my own game. But my mentality now is to just have fun around everyone else. If people are criticizing or people are cheering or people whatever, it's just like, just absorb all of it. But my own opinion on things should be, hey, I'm there. I should be appreciating the fact that I'm there, and just do better by your own terms. Don't do better by everyone else. Do better by your own terms. So I'm hoping that that's going to make this coming season better, because a year ago I was really, really unhappy being in the sport. So I'm excited about that. So anyway, so that's the whole get about why this is all happening again. Now, without further ado, let's start doing the... Oh, so yeah, sorry. So I want to work on my arm because one of the things, that's, we went way off that. One of the things, see, this is what happens when I don't... Also, by the way, congratulations to Shohei Ohtani on his contract. I think I'm going to be a Dodger fan, honestly. And now I'm really hoping they get the Yamamoto. But to Lee coming to the Giants, that's pretty fucking cool, too. So. But I've always been considered fast, average, home run at some point. Fast, average, a home run at some point, and then a good glove. But I always lacked an arm. And so that's one of the things I wanted to try to work on in the offseason. Now, I got a bad shoulder. Basically, the cartilage in my entire body is starting to fall apart. But I've noticed that I've been throwing this big-ass cannonball, which I don't even know how heavy this thing is, to be perfectly honest. But it's very, very heavy. It's also rubber, so it bounces off and stuff, which is pretty cool. I just don't have any concrete walls to throw this at. But every time I throw this thing on Thursdays at the senior thing, I can feel stuff loosening, but in a good way. And I think that's what I need. Is this thing is just so dormant. I think I just need to loosen up stuff. So I'm hoping by using this, and then throwing with other means, I'll get this arm going, because supposedly, and I'll tell you about it with the gloves, I might be really playing the infield. And that was what I was trying to do towards the end of the season, and I went right into it without, any kind of training. Again, having a terrible arm that would just go everywhere. Plus, the way I throw has so much spin off of it that the ball tends to go like this. And I've been made fun of for that since I started in the league, and I was an outfielder. So, all things I want to work on, and I've got a couple months to do that. But here we go. Let's talk about the first glove. This is the lowest model of Boombah. Boombah's glove. Now, Boombah, you don't know. I've actually used Boombah for a very long time. When I was kind of starting to really get into slow pitch, they're extremely affordable with a lot of their gear. But these didn't exist. There was no gloves back then. This is pretty certain as far as I remember. But they were really big on their bags, which people are still using, which are huge. Like 4 bags and all that. They made jerseys. They had some nice pants. I don't think they ever had batting gloves that I personally had bought or seen. But shoes was their big thing. Shoes were huge. But I got an email during Black Friday, and they were talking about fielding gloves. And I'm like, okay, well, let me check them out. And so then they had fielding gloves. Now, again, there's 3 different tiers to their batting gloves. So this is the 80-20. This is their lowest model glove. And I can't say for certain it's still 20-something bucks, but it was basically $19.99 for this glove. I go to a thrift store multiple times a week in a city down the road from where I'm at. They have a Franklin for $24.99, brand new. It's got the tags and everything, but and it's terrible. It's a piece of plastic. It's a piece of plastic with some strands on it. For 20 bucks, I was like, I gotta check this thing out. It is a leather shell, which to me, as a glove fanatic, was a bit of a red flag. This definitely, over time, if it's not treated right, if it's stored wrong, if it's left in the sun, is probably going to peel and look pretty bad if it's not maintained. However, if you take good care of this, I don't really think you need to oil it too much. It just depends if you're involved in like the rain, because rain is going to do some damage to this. Dirt over time is going to do this. So you can buy, I don't even know if I can access this. I apologize. I don't know if you can access, if I can access this right now. Oh, there we go. You can get Sarna glove leather conditioner off of Amazon for freaking steal. You get one of these ones if you're really curious, and you can probably put some moisture on it if it starts to look dry. But just fucking take care of your glove. That's the thing that kills me with people, is just take care of your glove. If you take care of your glove, you put it in a bag. I mean, you can get like a, I wouldn't really use like a plastic bag, because then you can address, you know, like more moisture gets into it. Just buy like a canvas bag or something, you know, and then you're good to go. But if you do that, I don't see any issues with this one. I think there's gonna be no issues. It's pretty light. You know, this has been relaced. As you can see, I've done what I usually do. So I relace with 850 paracord, and the original lace is right here. So that is the original lace in all its glory. So a little bit different of a color, obviously. And then the other thing I do, because I have issues with my arms, particularly nerve issues and stuff, but I have a strained forearm, is it makes it really hard to squeeze. I mean, I still have issues. But what I've learned over the years is to remove the padding in here. Excuse me. So, I don't know if I'm going to have access to it. I may not have access to it right now. But basically, when you open up the heel, there's actually another layer of padding in here, and a lot of these new gloves use this. It's a piece of leather, basically. So it makes it really hard to squeeze it. So initially, I think with this one, and I flared them out a little bit. You know, they were probably straight to begin with, but I think it squeezed about that much. So it was pretty much ready to go. This is what it looks like, if anyone's curious, with a softball, or if you're not trusting me, here's another softball. This is actually a home run derby ball, which is pretty cool. But that's with a home run, with a softball. And then with a baseball, this is a 13.5 inch glove. I apologize about this. 13.5 inch glove. I mean, oh yeah. Easy squeeze when it was not done all this, but now it's piece of cake. Piece of cake. It is a synthetic inner portion, which is pretty cool if you're just like not comfortable with having like a leather backed, like inner back glove. So it's really comfortable, light, and it's perfect. I mean, if you're, in my opinion, if you take good care of this, and you're playing a beginner, maybe even, I'm just trying to think, like, because boy, when you move up to D level slow pitch softball, it's pretty amazing. Because I think what I play is just E rec, you know, I think that's the lowest level, but like D, there's some D players that's like, wow. I still think you can get away with it. I mean, this thing is a monster, and I feel pretty confident wearing this. I mean, this is good for pretty much any kind of slow pitch player outside of like pro level, you know, like high competitive players. It'll do the job. It's safer than some of the things that I've seen people use. People are buying these cheap gloves from, no offense to Target and Walmart and anything like that, but people are buying some cheap gloves from there. And it's like, no chance, man. There's a great, the King of Jugo and a bunch of other ones do these like glove reviews where they see if they can handle, you know, certain miles per hour. That, like the Franklins I've seen at Target and Walmart and whatnot, it's not worth it. Get the right size glove for one thing. 13 to 13 and a half is probably best for most people because it just gives you the space. You can always adjust this, and hopefully you know someone that knows how to adjust that if you can't figure it out. But it ain't that hard. But adjust it. Like this actually is not fully adjusted. The other two gloves are fully adjusted, but because this one has so much cush, I don't have to adjust it to that next one. But you can adjust that. You can add another hole and make this adjusted to make it tighter. There's ways to make it tighter. 13 to 13 and a half. Get the correct size. Don't go in there with like an 11.5 inch glove. That's just not right. The 11.5 inch glove is basically just eliminating this whole section. That's not good. But I love the 820 is great. I don't know how 80/20. I don't know how often I'm going to use it, but I like it. I'll probably use it when it gets, especially during this time of year in the winter or near winter where it's wet. I'll use this one because I'm not going to be too upset about the leather getting all messed up, even though I probably shouldn't be using this one during the winter season. But awesome glove for 20 bucks. Are you kidding me? Can't go wrong. The glove that surprised me the most is actually the mid-range glove, and that's the Velocity. The pocket on this is ginormous. These are all 13 and a half. The pocket on this is ginormous. Am I still getting music? Okay. It's weird not having those things on. The palm itself is, at least on this one, for all I know, this could have just been, this particular glove is like that, but it's very rounded. And so, I mean, just look at the difference between catching this versus catching with the previous glove, which is even better than the final glove I'm going to show you. But see how there's so much opening? It's crazy. This glove plays like a 14 inch, even though it's a 13 inch. It's also much thinner in terms of its feel. The leather is definitely, this is legit leather, like no doubt, but it feels like mid-range leather. Awesome, same thing, if you took good care of it, it's not going to be an issue. Squeeze is great, same thing. I cut out the pocket, this thing used to be way too thick, but just I wish I had a couple more to gauge if this is like legitimately how big the palm on every one of the Velocities are, because it's huge. This is definitely what I would prefer to use in the outfield. Versus, and I apologize, I gotta go pee here in a minute. Actually, let me just go. Look at this. We haven't done it in a long time. Where is it? Oh my god, I don't even have it. I don't even know if that works. Okay. Yikes, I'll be right back. I apologize. Hello? Hey, sorry, they left a couple hours ago. Yeah. Okay. I hear you. I'm the same way, so. That's my plan. All right. Bye. Very nostalgic. Leaving to go to that bathroom. It's amazing after all these years, you know, seeing some of my cats go by and then realizing that this might be the first time I've done this with hardwood. I don't know. But I always had carpet, but in any case, that's sounding good. Yeah, no, seriously, I think I might use this from an outfield standpoint. I mean, it really goes in there, in my opinion. And it's pretty light. I think it's actually lighter than the next one, which is the top model. So those two are actually made in, not that it matters, they're made in China. These are actually handmade in the Dominican Republic. It even says it on the pinky. In the Dominican Republic. From what is they consider a world-class tannery. They're not as heavy as you would think for a like pro model glove, which is pretty cool. I've been kind of like going back and forth between flaring it and then going on an inside like this, because I might be playing infield and I want something that has just the thumb thing going on, and then that way I can get a quick release and all that stuff. But these are, I mean, this is a beautiful glove. I mean, all white. I think that's too sexy. But considering the quality of this damn thing, this one actually had triple ply on their padding. So I had to take 2 layers out from the heel for $69.99. And this is the model that if you try to get yours customized for $120, you can get one of these customized, and they'll customize the Boombah logo here will actually be your number, and then the Vitia that you can barely see here, there you go, will actually be your name. I've thought about getting one, but this is the time of year where I don't have a lot of money because of work. But you can get a customized glove, amazing quality, for $120. Like, give me a break, man. That's pretty amazing. But for whatever reason, maybe it was just the way this one was laced, but the pocket on this is so small or so shallow compared to the Velocity, which is kind of cool, because I mean, I literally at the point where I think I want to make this my infielder's glove, make this one my outfielder's glove, which again, I mean, it goes in way deeper. Make the 80-20 kind of like my everyday whatever, or eventually give it to a teammate or whatnot. But the Velocity ended up being a lot like my Z once I got that back going again. Whereas same thing. I mean, it really closes over a ball well, and it plays long. The Vitia plays really small for a 13.5. It's really fascinating. But again, if I'm going to be an infielder, I don't mind, because this is kind of cool to have an actual infielder's glove, and to have something this big too is pretty neat. So I'm kind of excited, but definitely worth it if you're looking for a really nice, slow pitch glove or softball glove or any kind of glove. I mean, I think all the Vitias are pretty cheap. $70 for a freaking pro level glove? How the fuck do you beat that, you know? Now, I'll take a quick swig of this. Oh, I should talk about these too then. Fuck it, since I'm here. I bought 2 pairs of batting gloves to go along with these ones. And I'm going to actually talk about another bat that I've had, since I do have experience with that. I ended up buying, so one of the seniors that I play with has a Viper glove that kind of is similar to this in terms of the squeeze. But he naturally is doing it normal. So I think his glove's about like here. I mean, it squeezes pretty good. I think he paid the same as this. I think he paid like 40 bucks on sale and everything. So it was a good price. It's a beautiful glove. I think it's a good looking glove. I ended up buying their batting gloves. So I got 2 pairs of gloves. These were 10 bucks. These are, I apologize, I can't remember the name of them. I don't have my phone on me. But these are, if you go to Smash It Sports, these are 10 bucks right now. And there's a whole bunch of different colors, but I got these ones because these ones match the bat I'm going to show, and I have a pair of cleats, which I'm still working on that, and then hopefully I'll do a review on that. But I bought 2 pairs of cleats, like turf cleats, from Boombah. And then depending on if I can lose a little bit more weight, my knees feel better, I might get some actual cleats, but I kind of doubt that. But we got the Viper, whatever these are. Again, I can't remember. These are the cheaper ones. These were 10 bucks, but these are originally $40 batting gloves. Pretty basic. They're really nice though. They're really comfortable, very tight. You know, if you're into this stuff. I'm 5'10", 215 pounds, and I got extra larges. And other than a little tightness on the thumb, which I just needed to stretch out, they're pretty damn comfortable. They look good too. They look real good. But the other gloves that I bought for $29.99, which were originally 50 bucks, so not as good of a deal, but they came with a really cool little pouch. It's cheap, but it's just cool that there's a pouch, you know what I mean? And you're not gonna go around and shove a bunch of shit in it. Are these. Now, I follow, as I've mentioned before, King of Juco, Momentum, and these guys are all into Bruce Bolt gloves. I can't afford Bruce Bolt, and I ain't gonna pay for Bruce Bolt because the way I hold a bat has the knob in your palm, and you rip through gloves. These are pretty damn close, in my opinion, to Bruce Bolt for $29.99. Like, oops, hell fucking yeah. They're a little bit bigger than in terms of like the fit. Like they're not as conforming, but that also could just be because I need to break them in. But they have, the thing is, they have extra support here, which is important, and then they have support down here, which is important. But they're all leather with the little rubber, you know, Viper logo. I'm stoked about these. These are beautiful gloves. The only other gloves I've had that felt like this are my Stingers, and then other than just tearing down here, they've lasted me for forever. But I've had 2 pairs of Stingers, and one pair actually didn't feel that great. Like the leather was all weird synthetic. These feel more like the red Stingers that I still have. Stoked about these. These end up probably being my gamers, but I need to wear them a bit more and stretch the leather out a little bit because they are tight around here. But other than that, I mean, for $29.99, that's fucking dope. So, really, really stoked about the Vipers. I might bring them both tomorrow and try those out too, just to see how they feel. Because the other thing I was going to do is, I have these, this is just I don't know how widespread all rolled is, but these are just some gloves that from a tournament that uses our fields. I actually ended up getting these, I think I might have gotten these for free. Solid gloves for just practice and stuff, solid gloves. So, I mean, I was originally going to use those for league, so those are fine too, but really excited about those. Lastly, I wanted to talk about these bats because I'm going to be using 2 of them tomorrow. Again, it is 6 o'clock in the evening now on the 13th of December 2023. So we're 12, 13, 14 hours away from using them. Probably 14 and a half hours because I always bat last. I have been swinging for the longest time this, which is the Louisville Z4000 end load. It is a dual stamp. I love that, by the way. I shouldn't as a Japanese person, but that's pretty cool looking right there. That is the, what is that? The Explosive Power Transfer True 3, which is this thing right here. But it is a U-Trip. This is an old U-Trip. I guess now it's an old trip. U-Trip, ASA, NSA, ISA, ISF. There you go. But it is a dual stamp, so usually these dual stamp bats, the ASA U-Trip bats, are not that great. I've swung a Z, one of the Z series before. It was a Z2000. It was a red Z2000, and I have the farthest hit I've ever had in my entire life was off a Z2000. I ended up giving it to a friend of mine that now lives up in Oregon, so probably never see that thing again. So hopefully, if you end up watching this, shout out to you, Rose. Hopefully you're still using it. But that, I hammered the ball with that one. I think that one was a straight U-Trip, but I could be wrong. This definitely sounds different, and this one actually sounds probably the most unique of almost any bat, of any composite bat. I have the legendary DeMarini Corn Dog, and that definitely sounds different because it's wood. I don't even know if you're going to get the full effect of the sound because it's not a ball, but it's loud, very loud. You'll see in a second when I tap the other ones. It's not broken in. I don't think it's broken in, but it definitely has you can kind of see it. It looks like it has surface cracking, but boy, man, it has no juice so far. But from a line drive standpoint, for an end load, this is a great bat. It swings so smooth. But this is what I was using towards the end of when I stopped playing. So I've had this one for a while. Now, the two bats that's going to be used tomorrow are the Easton Lady Resmondo Fireflex 12.5 inch 20. This one is a 27.5 because that was the only one they had left. I bought literally the last bat on Smash It Sports, and I had no intention of buying this. Initially, I was going to buy a different bat, and they ran out of it. And I'm kind of glad I got this one because this one is gorgeous. This is a beautiful bat. But it is a end-loaded, player-optimized, weighted, loaded bat. And it is... There we go. ISA, NSA, and U-Trip, nude U-Trip, BPF certified. But again, it is a 27.5, so we'll see how well I can swing this. It's actually, it doesn't feel, I mean, it's easy to just do this, but it doesn't feel overbearing like some bats can feel. So I'm a little bit excited about that. Like, hopefully this isn't as heavy of a swing, you know, as a 27.5 can be for myself, especially with a load. But the CXN Max system, I've seen some of these bats at the flea market with these gone. So these always kind of like scare me a little bit. Like two pieces in general. It's the same thing with these. They kind of scare me a little bit. But they definitely make it more forgiving if you make a mistake and you hit something on the end or whatnot, or on the near the handle. These do take a lot of the load off of it. Well, we're going to swing this. And then the other bat we got is the Easton Schiffhauer Strong, which is a charity bat that was made, unfortunately, now he's passed away, but in honor of Smash It Sports founder or CEO or owner Rick Schiffhauer, who was battling pancreatic cancer. And so this bat, hopefully some of the money that I paid for it, I didn't pay obviously retail, but hopefully some of the money went to the research. I hope that's the case. For pancreatic cancer. This is a mule load. Whatever the hell a mule load is, I'm really curious about that. But luckily I was able to get this in at 26. So this is actually a 26 ounce. Same CXN Max technology. I believe this is also a 25 and a half. Oh, I don't even know then. It doesn't mention it. I don't know what the barrel length is. I would assume it's the same. I didn't notice that these Easton bats actually have a small handle. That's actually pretty cool. I kind of like that. So I'm kind of excited about swinging these with the smaller handle, or smaller knob, I should say. But same thing, ISA, NSA, and then the new U-Trip stamp. It has a, so it's interesting, this one has a carbon zero handle, or zero carbon handle. Well, it's definitely not a zero carbon handle, it's definitely a carbon handle. But these are supposed to be really forgiving handles. This one is a zero strain. But these are both 2023 bats. So these are the first time on my channel where I'm actually going to swing bats that technically, when I swing these, are from the correct year, you know, which is kind of cool. Probably be the last time I do that. We'll see. But I'm excited about that. So I'm going to swing those ones tomorrow. Use these gloves. I'm going to wear those cleats that, you know, I don't want to bring them down now. I don't think people care that much about that. And I'll probably end up bringing these two gloves and then use these ones a little bit more, get more comfortable with them. Because some of the hitters don't hit very far. So I like playing in the infield, and then others, excuse me, I'll go in the outfield. And yeah, that's where we're at. So again, if you've watched to this point, you must have been interested in any of the slopage stuff I've done in the past. I don't know how much of this stuff I'll do. I'm hoping to record the games. At least I have a better bracket system and a different camera, which I'm using right now. But you know, we'll see. We'll try. Again, I'm trying to appreciate and enjoy, you know, how much time I'm still interested in the sport and all that stuff. So we'll see. But if you did make it to this point, thank you so much. And yeah, I would say to like subscribe, like whatever, you know. I'm just happy you made it to this point. If you made it to this point, so if you want to, go ahead. If not, no biggie. But if you're interested in seeing things going forward, hitting the subscribe button is pretty cool because of how random everything is, and so then that way you can get updates. But regardless, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you all pretty soon. Until then. Ooh.